Hey there, so today we have is the Eksa E1000. This is a collaboration between Eksa, I believe I'm saying that right, EKSA, and my time at Sandrock. Now I haven't done much looking into this game, but it looks like a fun little game. It comes, we'll talk about it, but it basically has USB, 50mm speaker diameter, has sensitivity at 118 decibels plus or minus 3 decibel with given just like a leeway, and a frequency of 20 to 20. And the microphone is a 6mm by 2.7 at a 2.2 kilo ohms, which is not bad, 180 max current consumption. So let's just pop into this. We'll see what comes inside. So the first thing you get is a very cheap case that feels much better than some other ones. You get a manual and you get a postcard. So you get yourself this, Help Wanted. This is actually quite cool. So you get yourself a bunch of postcards for the game, and this inside of this cool pouch. It's actually quite cool. So you get some fun stuff here. Now there was a code that I was told that was for the game. Not to give you the game for free, but for stuff. You have your quick start and your manual. I'll put that back in this bag because I don't read these. I just YOLO it. And then you have this. So you open it up and you get a nice foam and plastic. Looks like also plastic with a non-detachable microphone, but it does move around a bit. And then you can go up. Non-removable cable with USB at the end. And in the middle it has a microphone mute and a microphone regular. And of course it has their volume, I didn't say patented, but just volume. Stiff, but not bad. So I'm going to put this on my head, test it out, and we'll be back once I have more to talk about. So now that we got that unboxing out of the way, let's talk about some more of the device. Let's talk about sound. There's a bunch of things that I'm not liking, but I'm liking. So sound-wise, the surround sound is on all the time with no way to get rid of it, which means that the only way to experience a headset is to have surround sound enabled, and it's only good for gaming. Then Windows Sonic and Dolby Atmos, they do shit for this headphones. So what that means is its surround sound isn't there, doesn't make it sound better. So it's not like it's their sound tuning, it's actually surround sound that they have enabled all the time. And then there's no drivers to change that. Then the bass is there. It's great for some gaming headsets, and all they think you want is bass for everything, which somewhat feels right if I'm going to be gaming. I want the bass so I can hear differences in sounds. It makes everything a bit easier. And then mid-range mixes together with instruments to the voice. And it's maybe sound weird, but it causes instruments to mix together, making some sounds get drowned out. And sounds like bursts and backgrounds of games were a bit harder to make out. And I actually had to listen closely to even figure out to make the most of the instruments. Now in games like COD, they were not the best. So in COD, it was Cold War I was playing at the time of testing this one, and I wasn't able to hear around. So there's someone on a balcony. I wasn't able to hear that too well. Wasn't able to pinpoint it. I put on my normal headphones without surround sound, and I was able to pinpoint it a bit better. It was weird. It wasn't working. And then stereo separation, because of forced surround sound, isn't the best, but it is there. So a stereo sweep sounds fine with you being able to make out if you're listening to music. But it's very weak. It's one of those things that, I don't know, I think it's just weak, and I don't think it's something that we should be having to use. And yeah, and having surround sound that can never be turned off makes us bad for music. And some movies, like I actually watched Cars when I first got this, and I think it sounded okay for that. I wouldn't use them again for it, but the surround sound made it an enjoyable feature for that movie. And I actually prefer something else for listening to my music. So if you're going to actually get this for your music, I prefer another
type of device for this. That's just me. That's me. I preferred something else for this. Now, the pros and cons. The pros is it's only $30, making them a decent deal if you don't care about surround sound being on all the time. Uses USB, making them on a PC and PlayStation plug-and-play option with no drivers needed. So it plugs in and it shows up as a USB audio device, and that's all it does. And then decent enough mic that may pick up a tiny bit of background noise, but at least it doesn't ruin the sound of your voice, which is a deal breaker on lots of these cheaper headsets at this price range. And the size adjustments are quite strong, making them stay on the adjustment that you have them on. If you take them off, put them back on. And yeah, so it seems very, very durable there. And they seem durable when when the headband has a lot of flex to it. So if I were to take this and bend it, it bends really far without me feeling like I'm actually going to snap it in half, and then it snaps back into place properly, which is good. And if I were to rage quit and take off my headphones in frustration and just drop them on my desk, or even on the floor in frustration, I would feel confident that these wouldn't break. So, because they actually feel quite good durability-wise. Now, they feel hollow if I were to tap into things, but that's just cheap plastic. Now the cons. For the forced surround sound, causing you to have it without no way to turn it off, which is very, in my opinion, bad, because if you're going to be buying a headset, you want something that you can use. It's going to be your headphones too. Like, you're buying a headset because you want the built-in microphone, you want whatever the features are to offer, and you're going to be buying this one, and you're going to be forced to have surround sound. So you're not going to have a pleasant experience listening to music, and it's going to be okay for movies and TV shows, like video watching, not the best. If I were to go onto YouTube and watch a video, I'd rather not. The non-detachable braided cable can feel scratchy sometimes, and they'll make the left air cup a bit heavier. So if I took the cable, I can feel it. It feels scratchy, which is something that I don't like, because when it scratches against my skin, if I'm wearing short sleeves, I can feel it. And then this being non-detachable is quite weird when it makes the head cup feel heavier when it already feels like if I put them on both sides, if I switch them around, I can still feel that this cup is heavier. And that I felt playing for a while, so that was a problem for me. And it has no swivel in the ear cups, causing them to sit one way. So if I put them on, they can actually start hurting for a while, after a while, because of the zero swivel, which caused me to take a break. But I actually don't mind it, because they don't feel cushy. So if I put this on like this, it's already somewhat forced to my face, but then there's also this, in the back of them, there is a opening that sits there that isn't there in the front. So it doesn't just swivel a bit sideways to relieve the pressure. It stays there, and it gives me pressure into my ear, which I don't like. The only buttons you get are a volume scroll wheel and a mic mute, which mic mute is good to have, but the volume scroll wheel, just let me stick to Windows. I don't need this on my headset if I'm going to be using Windows anyway to control my volume. And a non-con to some people is RGB, but to me, it's RGB, because the default is what you get. You see rainbow effect, and that's all you get. Then the other thing is there's no way to change that. There's no way to turn it off. So what's the point of having RGB if you can't see it? It's fine. Some people want RGB. Now, this isn't a complaint everyone should have just because it's RGB. Who cares? It's not like it has a battery and it's going to take up battery life. But if I want RGB, I want to be able to disable it on this thing. I want to be able to go ahead and say, can I turn off RGB? Like, I don't care for it. Sometimes it's maybe the middle of the night, I'm gaming a long night session. Let's say I'm in an area where I need it to be darker. This RGB will be a burden to that. Like, I want to just be able to disable the RGB on my end. I guess, oh well, it's there. No way to turn it off, oh well. Now, the mic is not detachable. This isn't a worse thing. I can lift it up and out of the way. But to me, if I'm going to be buying a headset or something, I may want it for music also. And being able to put the microphone up is good, but if I want to go outside with these, I mean, I wouldn't, but if I had a headset that looked like headphones, I want to be able to attach the mic so I can go outside and not look like I'm wearing a headset. It's, a con to me can be fine for others. And then the mic, even though I said decent enough, is okay. Now it's clear, but it picks up every single noise. So I went to pick up my mouse, and I did the clicking, and I could actually hear it through my headset. That's through the headphones because of that. So the microphone picks up the noises and broadcasts them to anybody around you. So I was just sitting there pressing 3 buttons on my computer to see what the background noise picks up as I was talking. It picked up me breathing, which, fine, okay, pick it up. Your microphone's right next to you, but the click of a mouse. They say it has something called clear voice technology built in. What does that mean? Absolute bupkis. Bupkis, if they're gonna call clear voice technology. And according to the website, we use some sort of algorithm to block out background noise, whatever they even say on the website. It does not block out background noise at all. And then this is a gaming headset where they partnered with a game called My Time at Sandrock. Now, other than the box and what comes inside the box, if I were to actually go ahead and use the headset and ask someone, does this look like anything special, or does it look just like any other headset you can find online? They'll say, it looks like any other headset. And you'll be like, but it's partnered with a game. My Time at Sandrock. New game, newer from May of 2022, but it's strange. And people are going to see this and they're going to think, oh, it's a game they partnered with. I wouldn't know because it's not branded as that, which isn't a bad thing. But if you're going to partner with a company, at least brand it. Like another pair of gaming headsets, another gaming headset of theirs. It's partnered with another game, but you wouldn't know because there's no branding or anything of that type. The game is fun, at least, because My Time at Portia was a fun game. First collaboration to get new extra perks in the game, which is sad. For this collaboration, they don't give you a card, they don't give you this or that. Okay, so what? It's still a fun game to play, and you get some cool extras if you like the game and you really want some extras. So maybe the headset for you then. But with the pros and cons out of the way, using them were somewhat nice. They feel great on my head, and the headband is cushiony where it doesn't feel like it's going to push on my head at all. The ear cups, even with no swivel back and forth, feel great. And they fit around my bigger ears and cover them quite well, except for a bit on the back, but they still block out all the noise. They block out lots of noise on the outside, where if someone tries to talk to you, they'll actually have to tap you on the shoulder, or you'll have to take off the headphone, one of the ear cups, to even hear what they're saying. The size adjustment is good, and you can feel a click when they hit each level, so you know where you're at. And I take the headphones off to go to do something, come back, and I don't have to adjust them. I put them on and they're good. Now I may have to go back and forth like this a bit just to get it back in the spot that I like, but otherwise no push that, no nothing. It just stays. So construction of these are plastic, which some people may not like, but I feel it's a good thing for something around $30 because it doesn't jack up the price for being metal. And the headband has a lot of flex to it from either direction and is light. And although the left ear cup, because of the braided wire, feels just a bit heavier sometimes, which, oh well, I got used to it after a while. Now it doesn't really feel too much heavier, but I can still feel it. Being this flexible of a plastic, I feel like people who rage kit would have a harder time breaking this. The mic is something I have a love to hate with. I like how it doesn't give a cheap compressed sound. It also gives a clear voice to the mic, but then it picks up all the noises you don't want to hear, which is why a lot of people don't like to recommend headsets over a standalone mic, because as you can hear from this mic test here.
So this is the mic test, and I'm just going to tell you a little story. And I'm going to also click around, so I'm sitting decently far enough away from my mouse. And I'm just clicking it like I would, clicking around. And I'm going to type on my keyboard right now. And everything is just weird. So I was walking around outside, and I brought down a skateboard that I have, and I was riding it around. All of a sudden, I heard a beat from a car as they whooshed around me, and I almost felt like I was going to go ahead and die because of how fast it came around me. So I guess I just went ahead and I said really loudly, "Screw you," and I flicked them off, and they screeched to a halt in their car. So all I did was I got onto the sidewalk next to me because I wasn't even in a busy street, and I sped right past them so that if they tried to get on the sidewalk, they wouldn't be able to reach me in time.
You can hear me breathing and even just a smack noise from me taking a second to breathe, and my mouse isn't close to my mouth at all. My mic isn't close to my mouse at all, but you can still make up the picking of my mouse. Not a loud click, and I have yet to have any other mic pick it up, but this one just picks it up like it was right there for some reason. So, I mean, I went to the website to see what was up with the microphone and see if there was anything that I could do to make it better. And one of the selling points was Eksa Pure Voice technology. They claim it was meant to give a clearer voice, reducing background noise, which doesn't work at all for me, except the clearer voice spot. Even trying it on Discord, the other party is able to hear the noise from my mouse, even picking up me breathing, and also sometimes my quieter keyboard. If it really was reducing background noise, it wouldn't be able to pick up my mouse. That's quite crazy if it's going to pick up my mouse at this. There are 4 colors you can choose: gray, green, blue, and red. Those are accent colors of act bands and around the ear cup area. And there are some specs on the site about having a 50mm driver in each ear, which seems to be accurate without a real way to judge sound quality of them if they're 467.1 virtual surround. But you can feel that they're not the best. They're like a cheap 50mm driver, but you can still feel that it's there. Turning them up to a higher volume, I hear no distortion. You don't want to make them go too loud because they go loud. They work on PS5, PS4, a laptop, a PC, and with the USB adapter, they work on your cell phone, Apple, and Android. On the computer, they work with Windows, Mac, and Linux. So the 3 operating systems that they have, they'll work. As long as you can do plug and play with USB devices, it'll work. Now, sound-wise in games, the Force Surround wasn't the option I preferred. I would have wished we had an option to disable, to turn that off. And on another headset from Eksa, the E900 Pro, I was able to disable the surround, and per game, I would actually do it. Call of Duty was one of those games. The people weren't able to be figured out by their position. I felt like some of the sounds were missing. Footsteps mostly in some scenarios. The surround sound that was forced upon me wasn't making me feel like I was able to pinpoint half the people and that shot at me. In Doom Eternal, because of how the audio is set up in the game, the surround sound really works here. The noise felt like it was coming from all around me. The game is already set up to work really well with surround sound, and from the music to the monsters around you. So I actually, even on my E900 Pros, I preferred to have surround sound on for Doom Eternal. And then when I play with regular headphones, it does a good job. It's just I prefer on those not to have any surround sound for any games. On Halo Infinite, the surround sound did not feel like it was doing anything. Having it off would have given the same effect. It did not feel like it needed 7.1, causing the forced surround to be useless. And the 7.1 surround also made the headset feel a bit fatiguing. Some games not sounding the best with them on, it can cause some noise to come in at weird angles, making me, at least me, need to take a break every once in a while and come back to be able to play again. Like within every hour, I had to go ahead. So I played this for 5 hours straight. For an hour, I was good. I took these off. I'm like, I came back within about 3 minutes, and I sat down for another hour. Same thing for about 5 hours of my playtime with these on constantly. The controls on these are the dedicated volume for the headphone and mic mute, and then everything else is done on Windows without any software, or Mac or Linux. Basically just the volume control from your computer is all that you really have. And all in all, these are just okay. The forced surround sound makes them, to me, to my ears, fatiguing. They are not good for music, which they aren't made for music anyways, and the mic picks up too much noise. The RGB can't be disabled, but that doesn't matter because you can't see the RGB when it's on your head. They feel durable, with good amounts of flex on the headband, and the ear cups are very cushy and don't hurt. USB cable being non-detachable can be annoying, because if anything on the cable breaks, you have to buy a new pair of headphones. They are a collaboration for my time at Sandrock, with no indication except the box and what you get inside. They force surround sound on you, without a way to turn it off, and it just sounds mediocre. There were some games I wish I could have turned off the surround sound so I could play it better, and some games that made sense, like Doom Eternal. I wouldn't recommend these to a friend for all the surround sound, but if you don't mind it being forced, go ahead. I'm not stopping you from buying these, but my general opinion is they're not recommended to a friend because of this. Now, if you did like this video, please definitely rate, comment, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.